youngsters in there, still being fed by the adults, mainly a diet of flies and beetles. But as you can see, there's not much room, and they're looking very well developed. Well, this morning, just after 6:30, the first one took a leap of faith, and that was soon followed by the second. When I say leap of faith, they're effectively stepping out into the very dense reeds there. 7:30, the third one left, leaving two behind. And here we go, bit of preening, last minute preparation. And then this one again steps off, leaving one behind. There's always one that's a little bit risk averse, hanging out to the last moment, and it does eventually take a tentative step out into the reeds. They won't go very far. The adults will be coming back to that proximity of that nest, giving a little call and continuing to feed them. They'll look after them for the next 10 or 12 days, and then those adults will start another clutch of eggs, another brood of youngsters, and then they'll all be mature by the time we get to mid-September, and they'll fly off to sub-Saharan Africa. A remarkable feat when you think that these things weigh the same as a pencil.
You can have a look at them live now, because I think they are
still there.
Yeah. Very difficult to see, but right in the middle there.
So this is our nest cam, which means they haven't moved very far. Oh, yeah, you could just catch a glimpse of one moving there. So yeah, they haven't gone very far, but of course, it's not a case of all of the chicks in one basket here. So again, thinking of the predation that we saw last night, this strategy of dispersing as quickly as you possibly can certainly makes sense.
It's been a good day, let me tell you that. And I've got a very big smile on my face as I take you live to our blue-tipped nest camera. And you can see it's empty there, it's not been predated. It fledged and the crowd went wild. Yes! I can't tell you how excited we were when we saw that that was empty. This is what we got
one
so
last
excited
little
about
one left
today.
of the
This
nest.
little blue tip, how can you not love it?
I love the little blue tip.
This is the survivor, the only survivor out of 8 chicks. Every time those wings flapped, we were rooting for it. Come on! We thought we were going to cheer at 2 minutes past 8 as it teased us with a little peek out of the hole of the nest box. Come on, we were saying, Sid, get out into the big wide world. But no, it didn't. But then at 11:05, it suddenly was there again. Was it going to go? I think I'm doing a football match. No, it wouldn't go.
I'm running for the defib. I'm going to need it in a minute if you don't calm down.
It flew off into the distance. It left the nest box. The adult comes back to feed it, probably relieved that it's gone. And then we followed it with our long lens camera. We saw it in the trees. We knew it was safe, because I've got to be honest, I always worry when they leave the nest box that something's going to take it. And in fact, our camera operator told us that he thought that that particular chick was very strong wings, strong will to live, a strong survivor. He reckoned it was going to live happily ever after. And you know what I did, Chris? I actually had a word with that blue tip. I said, I'd like you to go off to a nice, safe garden where they've got food, and that's it. It's a survivor. It's a survivor.
I'm not sure who needs the sedatives, me or you, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, come on, honestly. I'm sure everyone at home is just so chuffed that that little runt, that little survivor actually got out.
I am chuffed. I'm just not quite as excited as you are. Let's take a look at our remaining nests now on our live way, and we can take a look at our goldfinch. Now, we introduced you to these last night. They're brooding on that nest up in the gorse there. Unfortunately, got its back to us, can't see its lovely red face. A bit fidgety there, no doubt that's the youngsters beneath it. And if there's any activity there, we might come back to those later in the programme. But of course, you can keep your eyes on all of these nests from 7 in the morning until 10 at night. Keep your eyes peeled on those.
I'm still smiling, honestly. I'm still smiling. I think I need to calm down a bit. Let's go to Yola, who's about 20 miles southwest of here on the Portland Peninsula at the Bird Observatory. Yola.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Portland, or the Isle of Portland as the locals call it, and more specifically, welcome to the old Lower Lighthouse, now the site of the Portland Bird Observatory. And this place is fantastic for migrant birds, especially in spring. Not only does the Portland Peninsula extend out into the English Channel, so it's often the first bit of land that migrant birds
Was there
are in
something
from
you wanted to watch,
Africa
Jordan?
and southern Europe see, but it's the habitats here.
Because
It's
I
a
can watch
mix
this
of
tomorrow while you're
trees,
still in
of
bed.
shrubs, fresh water, a rare commodity here, and of course Martin Cade, the warden, and his team, well, they monitor the birds, they count the birds offshore, they count the birds flying overhead, and they also put up mist nets in amongst the scrub to catch some of
Hello.
the birds. And as soon
Have
as
some
we
supper.
arrived, Martin went rushing out. They caught two birds, a lesser white-throat, this one you can see here, and a reed warbler. Now, Martin has ringed in his career hundreds of thousands of birds. He is what they call an A-ringer, very well trained. He knows how to take them out gently, put them in a canvas bag where they stay calm. Then he takes them to the ringing hut, and there the birds are processed. This is the reed
It's
warbler.
tiny little legs.
He attaches a ring, you've got to attach the right size ring to the leg, and each one has got an individual number. He measures the wings, and everything is scribbled down. They make a note of absolutely everything there. Also weighs the bird, taking the weight, and he can sex it, tell you whether it's a young bird, an adult bird, whether it's a male or a female, whether it's brooding eggs. The man basically is something of a genius. And they get about 250 different species of birds here every year. I'll show you some of them. Offshore, of course, the high cliffs here.
You
great
want to
places
come
for
up again,
watching.
do you?
You get birds like
That
gannets
didn't last
here,
long, did it?
Manx shearwaters here as well.
Come on,
And
then.
those may well be making their way to breeding islands off the west coast of the UK. You get things like swallows, usually coming through in big numbers in March. Redstarts, a woodland bird passing through, and that may well end up in the wood near me over in mid Wales there. But occasionally you get much more scarce birds passing through. And this year, a real special little bird. Get this one off for you. The colourful European bee eater. One turned up here at the beginning of May this year, 6th of May. Look at that. Absolute stunner. Look at the colours on that. Now this would be making its way probably from North Africa through the Iberian Peninsula, maybe to Germany.
Surely that's,
or
I was going to say,
Holland,
surely
and
that's a
got
wood
blown
pigeon
across
beside it.
to Portland here. Also, nightingales. Lovely, lovely little nightingale there. Two of those actually turned up on one day in May this year, and this one was caught in a mist net. It was weighed, it was ringed, as we saw with the reed warbler earlier, and fabulous little birds. And it's a bird that is declining throughout the UK. So to get two birds in one day is something quite special. They've been monitoring the birds here for around 60 years, and they've seen numbers fluctuate, many in decline. But the one that's declined the most, sadly, is the beautiful turtle dove. In the early 60s, they would record about 500 individuals every year. Now, that tragically is down to just a handful of birds, and it's a decline that's reflected throughout the whole of the UK and throughout much of Europe. Later on, we'll be back to look at a very scarce, very unusual, very odd migrant that's something of a speciality here. But now, let's go up to Scotland and join Megan, who's in Glasgow.